Game on! Feel the heat, ladies and gentlemen. Going up against Washed Up, the grand final is starting. The best of 5 series, and our first map is Infernal Shrines. We had some insane games today. Especially that third place decider was kind of funny towards the end. Map number 2 was definitely a blast. To be fair, map number 1 was also kind of crazy, but of course when it comes to the outcome of the tournament, this is what we're looking at right now, and both of these teams have done an absolutely incredible job here today. Now, people have been asking a little bit, hey, where's X-Ray, where's X-Ray, why is he not playing, did they finally replace him? Joke. And no, obviously they didn't. So X-Ray apparently is out because it's his birthday, so that's why he's not playing with the team today. And right now, as we're heading into this, we get immediately a ban on Zool. So, with Infernal Shrines coming up, again, noteworthy, this is a best of 5 series. We had pretty much best of 3s all around. D.Va gets banned again. She has been highly successful in this tournament now. And therefore, you pretty much don't see her. She's really impactful, disrupts the opponent, synergy, and the team the entire time. So, no D.Va at this point. As I said previously, the hero went from being not played because she's useless to being not played because she gets banned all the time. We've seen her a couple of times today, but it seems like the pattern is and will be that D.Va gets banned early. So right now we have also a ban on Maiev. Ultralisk has been doing well the entire time. Keep in mind they didn't ban Medivh, which means that Feel the Heat should really think about banning Medivh at this point. Because if you go up against Ultralisk, there's pretty much one of the heroes that usually gets banned against him is Medivh. And if Medivh doesn't get banned against him, there is a decent chance that the opponent picks it away, especially when one of your players is Dennis Hasorps Schneider. And that could happen right now. So Diablo gets banned, which means that if Medivh is taken, there's at least no leyline into Apocalypse setup. Question remains, is Medivh taken? Yes or no? Because if he's not taken, then there's definitely a high probability that Feel the Heat is locking it in. So if Washed Up just says, well, you know what, let's not take Medivh, then they need to have some heroes that can control the portals, but as expected, there it is. Medivh gets taken, and now we're looking at what Feel the Heat is going to do around that. Maybe a Junkrat. They played Junkrat for Dainu already a few times, and Junkrat is... there we go. Junkrat is pretty good at the control of the portals. You have Malfurion on the support side that with Roots controls it really well. For Junkrat, of course, it's the mine that he can put out there. So it's all about portal control at this point when you're up against Medivh and trying to interrupt as much as you can there. So, yeah, there it is. But let's have a little bit of a look of how this is going to pan out for Washed Up now. For everybody that didn't watch the semifinal, by the way, we have one NA player playing for Washed Up today. The Okmek, seems like a Russian name or something, is actually Cure's account. So Cure is playing from North America, cross-server with Washed Up here. And did a fantastic job, especially in the first game that they played on Infernal Shrines today, where he played as Zeratul. So we have Deckard Cain coming in, and also Urel. So with Deckard Cain on all of this, you have already a lot of really, really good setups to just zone control. Zone control is super important right now. CC and zone control. And they're starting to set both of this up for those shrines. Vala ban is actually kind of interesting. I mean, we don't see her that much anymore, but if you have Medivh on your side too, and then Deckard Cain, you can keep her alive. And her entire setup around a multi-shot build, for example, is insanely impactful when you're playing on the shrine. So we could definitely see that for them. Just like trying to carpet as much as you can with the multi-shot, making sure that you get not only objective stats, but also damage to heroes. In the previous games, we've seen, for example, Zeratul also played by Cure, who could still shift around a little bit. Deathwing gets banned. Deathwing, one of the heroes that Blade plays a lot, so oftentimes it's Leo, Blade, or Blaze. And in this case, the ban on Deathwing is definitely a good one. Question is still, are we going to see more so the setup with Blaze as the side laner, or is it going to be the traditional Leoric pick for Blade? But Leo, I don't want to say he's fallen off a little bit, but I feel like a few other offlaners have really just started to overshadow him slightly. He can still be incredibly powerful if you're trying to put pressure on a big tank, and of course he has a lot of control there too. But they are playing Imperius in the side lane, so that's pretty much where Imperius started as a side laner. And these days he has obviously taken over very, very heavily on the main tank role. But since they have Johanna for added wave clear and control, they can use it now too. And with Johanna, there's again a very good chance that we're going to see a Falling Sword taken, since they can put pressure onto Medivh and Deckard Cain to a certain extent with that ult. Unless they really feel they need the additional CC through the Blessed Shield. Of course, there's also the Gladiator's Medallion on the other side, so it's a little bit of a toss-up. It's a big cooldown to burn there if your opponent still has that. Garrosh gets picked, and we also have Nick for the, I feel the second time today, on Hanzo. Did a great job the last time that he played it. Ended up with the top damage, if I'm not mistaken. As we're now moving in with the last pick on Ultralisk. He played Karrigan a lot on this map. He played Medivh and Maiev. Medivh and Maiev are both away. Can, of course, play a bit more than only Karrigan, but still, what are we going to go for? We get Zeratul for him. Alright, neat. Game number 1, we're setting things up in this best of 5. Infernal Shrines is our first map, as we are heading into the grand final of the Ice Cold Cup here in Europe by Chili Mountain. Game number 1, Infernal Shrines of the map, washed up against Feel the Heat, the best of 5 series, the grand final. Cure for the blue team on Urel, Nick on Hanzo, Hazops on Medivh, we got Masquerade on Garrosh, and Banana H on Deckard Kane. So, Feel the Heat on the right side of the map, countering that with Ultralisk on Junkrat. His job is going to be portal control and trying to isolate heroes so that they can take them down. Wit on Johanna, we have Blade on Imperius, so a fair amount of CC already here. Yasu on Lucio, and Dainu is playing Zeratul in this first game. So Medivh is going to be one of the main characters that we have to watch out for, and they're already trying to establish an early attack, but they're not quick enough through the portal. Nobody is really falling for that trick either, and therefore nothing really happening here in the early stage of the game. We're going to keep our eye on Hazu's baseline in particular, since of course the stacking on Medivh is going to be highly important. And let's see what we're going to have there. Oh, Masquerade is already going to move out there. Alright, Q at the front is already starting to jump around a little bit with Urel. He's going to take over up to the top lane, is going to deal with that. Zeratul has gone down to the bottom. And Zeratul obviously has shifted now with Ultralisk. So initially we had Dino and Ultralisk. He's played the hero a couple of times, but since they also drafted Zeratul, they switched Dino over into this one, and he is still one of the best Zeratul players that we have on the European server. So it's usually absolute blast to see what Dino can do with the hero, and we're going to take a close look on what he can accomplish there. So that might be pretty fun. Unless, of course, Washed Up is able to shut him down completely, but time will tell. At this point, already taking a little bit of damage, so Cure just sitting tight, waiting it out. Zeratul is not coming back anytime soon, though, so he's fine. Masquerade is also playing around this a little bit, and the portal comes out to save him. Lucio, of course, also serves to an extent the purpose of simply pushing targets away from the portal so that he can get the extra damage in and maybe secure a kill. There's actually a lot of this stuff that is going to be highly important when it comes to counteracting Medivh's impact in this game. Yeah, and Zeratul is still making the rotation, so he's on his way all the way up to the top again, and is starting to take... it makes it a little bit difficult for Q to really move out here, because as long as Zeratul just keeps these rotations up, you have to be very, very watchful of where you're headed. And especially Cure needs to be playing a little bit more passive now at the top, of course. Level 4 talents are starting to come in. The Boom Power as usual. So again, you're trying to get the Concussion Mine out so that you can control portals and also isolate a target. An ideal setup. You would be close to a gate so they can push them over. So that's that. And, well, let's see how this is going to go for them. Yeah, at the same time, now, for everybody that isn't quite aware, Cure is a North American player. I hinted at it in the draft. He is playing cross-server here, which means that he's roughly playing with a ping of 120 to 140. We talked about those ping problems a little bit in those recent in-house games on the North American server, where a lot of the European players are playing these days too. So you always have a little bit of a ping disadvantage when you're heading into a setup like this. That's kind of impactful, but as I mentioned, Cure did a very good job with Zeratul the last time that they played here on this map. But it's still something you should keep in mind when it comes to certain interactions between players and also how you dodge out on stuff. With the first objective now popping up topside, we have Cure very likely focusing on the lane swaps between the bottom and the middle, just trying to mirror Zeratul and making sure that he gets all the experience there. Since both of these heroes are currently not really doing too much all the way up at the top now. So first of all, the camps get taken down. There's a bit of a lead on the objective for Washed Up, but of course it's negligible at this point with only 8 stacks taken. But now that Urel and Zeratul are likely to soon make a move towards the top because they are just sitting on lane to get level 7, once that's accomplished, we're going to see that 5 versus 5 fight happening. And right now, Dino is already ripping Cure a new one. and is now making the rotation topside, whereas Urel had to top off at the fountain first. We got now the typical build for a lot of the European Zeratul players, with the Seeker in the dark after the Psionic Strength, and very likely also the alternative level 10. I talked about this in length in one of the previous games, but as we're heading into this fight up at the top, we already have Cure under pressure once more. His fountain is on cooldown. There's the stun lock up, but Lucio comes in, boops the target away. The Arcane Punisher gets taken regardless. Hazu with 16 stacks now. Level 10, very likely going to be Might of the Nerazim for Zeratul. Normally, with a lot of the European Zeratul players like Tai and Dino, you will have a level 1 and level 16 cleave talent. And outside of that, a very heavy focus jump into the backline and get the damage in. Masquerade takes the portal. Let's get booped away again. Beautiful setup. Beautiful play by Ultralisk here. This is exactly why you see so many times a Junkrat drafted against Medivh, because you can control these portals. You can make sure that whenever a target takes a portal for aggressive or to escape, you can simply put them out of position again. And that leads now to the top fort being eliminated. Fantastic opening here and great start. We're going to take another look at this. Look at the way that he plays this. They're getting Garrosh first of all removed up to the front. Garrosh wants to take the portal, and the second he moves through, the mine gets again used, and bam, that's a kill right there, and that allows to push through the gate, push to the fort and take it down. Incredibly well played here, and this is exactly this interaction that Ultralisk is going to be looking for the entire time whenever Medivh makes his plays. And talking about Medivh, he is by now at 25 stacks, so Hazu is doing a really good job on the progress on his baseline. We have nearly level 10 now for Feel the Heat. And let's have a bit of a look of how this game is going to pace up once the level 10 abilities are in. Are we going to see again the Falling Sword for Johanna? Very likely, and yep, there it is. And as already mentioned, Might of the Nerazim is pretty much the standard pick for Zeratul players in Europe. And we're gonna see Dino try and make those plays. And he's already starting to go for it. Gets some extra damage in against Cure as he zones him out and jumps away using his ult, resets the cooldowns. They're pressuring Masquerade again. So they're currently all over the place with the mobility that they have. And of course the advantage through level 10, which has now been negated by Washed Up taking their own. And there's an interesting approach now too, because we have actually the Polymorph over here. We got the Polybomb. And that means that they're going to be able to lock down a hero like Zeratul a little bit more, or in this case, trying to go for this. Ooh, arrow narrowly missing. Narrowly missing the target here as the fight continues, but Nick trying to YOLO that one out. If it connects, then it's a problem. But instead, they're making the play for Nick. He gets thrown away. Nicely done. Dino jumped in for a bit of extra damage, but already had to move out too. Needs to be very careful now against the CC that is available on the other side. But this is going to be a cool series, guys. This is definitely going to be a fun one. Two top teams currently playing off against each other. It's a bit unfortunate. I mean, we have one player missing on each side. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, it's X-Ray's birthday, so he's not here. But Masquerade down here is able to move out thanks to Hazu. The bird is cheating again. The bird is cheating once more as it sets up the portal and allows Garrosh to escape this one. But here's the next objective, and they're already starting to take their own camp on the left side. And again, this one is still being fought over. And here comes Dino. Dino! Low, but they go for Cure. And yeah, he's also taking a little bit of a beating. At the end of the day, though, it means that this camp is not taken. So now that we're fighting over the objective itself, nobody has the time anymore to go for the Shaman camp. They have to let this slide, which means the top lane is under control of Feel the Heat, and therefore Cure has to stay there a little bit longer and push it out, which allows Feel the Heat to take the lead on the objective, or at least they should be able to. 32 stacks by now for Hazu, so he needs to be careful that he doesn't fall now and loses all of that. But off we go. We attack again in the back as Dino keeps getting the damage in. Nick is already down to 50% HP. Cure jumped in too. Dino's playing it slow, playing it safe, zones them out, creates some space for the team. They're on 22 against 15 stacks, and here comes the Reptile as they come in for this one. But, well, there's again Cure coming in, getting some extra damage connected. 32 stacks against 17 right now. Pull him off in the back. Arrow comes in, and Dino escapes and is still able to get away here.
Nope.
Comes in and is like, not on my watch, baby. Punisher's taken, they go for Cure, and, well, he might actually fall here. Wit is able to jump in, but he doesn't connect, so maybe they can go for Masquerade instead. They're trying to do that. Zeratul is now taken over the top lane and pushes the lane out too. Nick is low, Nick is really low, Nick is super low, and is still able to survive here. But in comes Imperius with the Wrath, it's the delivery system, and they kill him! Hazu is down! Oh my god, Hazu loses all of his stacks. He was nearly done. He was nearly done. He needed 1 or 2 more connects and it would have been completed on the baseline. And Zeratul wrecked Cure at the top. Dino with a kill against Urel. 3 kills against 0. They're looking great now. They took the fort at the top. They took the fort in the middle. And now they are working at the bottom of the map. Medivh is reset to 0 stacks, and this is a nightmare for Washed Up now. An absolute nightmare. Wrath on Imperius, he turned into a delivery system, came in, and yeah, just simply played out Uber Eats, IRL. Delivery system easy peasy, and now they're about to be murdered. 2 levels ahead. 3 kill advantage, 2 forts down, stacks reset on Medivh. He was at 38, and this is just a disaster. And of course, there's so much momentum for Feel the Heat now. I mean, they are looking great. 13, we got the mending strikes in, and it's nasty. I mean, right now, the situation, it couldn't be much better. Zeratul is at the top, pushes the lane out further, tries to start pressuring. They keep there too. Here comes the setup against Jojo. She's likely gonna fall, but there's actually a really nice sound barrier. The problem is that we also have another setup coming in with Deckard Cain. But you know what? Wit doesn't give a shit. Wit is still alive. How on God's green earth is Johanna not dead? How is Johanna not dead? Fight might continue, but just here comes the 16. As we have a break, look at this again. Like, they go for her. They go in with the taunt. They do everything that they can. They have even the polybomb on it. Then Deckard Cain comes in. Sound barrier, and bam, there it is. Still walks away from it. Absolutely no problem. Right now, we have topside. Dino already escorting it in against the keep. Of course, there's Cure coming through, trying to help him out. But look at Cure. He's at 50% HP. He's at 50% HP, and Zeratul is grabbing his 16 any second. If he goes toe-to-toe now against Zeratul, there's a good chance that Dino is just going to obliterate him. So this is a difficult situation for Cure to be in. He needs to stop this, but he also needs to be careful, because Dino's there, but he can tap the fountain. He had the cooldown still, so that's important. But as you can tell, here come the slashes, here comes the attack. Dino's jumping out again. A bit of damage on the keep, a bit of extra damage against the hero. With the 16 talents in play and a 2-level lead, they can focus onto the bottom of the map where the last fort is standing. And here comes the attack against the old man. Good jump once again from Wit, creating a little bit of space. Yeah, good throw. Blade might be in trouble. There's the polybomb. Can he go for Wrath to jump out? Well, he doesn't have enough cooldown, so won't be able to use that. And here it is. First kill for Washed Up. First kill for them. Zeratul still rotating on the map here the entire time. The game is starting to feel really comfortable for Feel the Heat. They're on 28,000 damage on Zeratul. He has 65,000 siege damage. He's the one rotating between the lanes the most and really dealing with all of this. We get an additional 20,000 damage coming in from Blade on Imperius, and this is tricky. But Washed Up is, I mean, again, they are on level 15, they're 1.5 levels behind right now, but as long as they get the level 16 talent for the next objective, they're still in a spot where they can fight. It's 30 seconds, that's plenty of time to grab half a level, shouldn't really be a problem for them. They can take the wave up at the top, for example, without any issues whatsoever, and then they will fight another objective on even talents with their opponent. Hazorps is back on 9 stacks, but that's not really a whole lot, so he needs to be careful there. Wit is already starting to escape with the iron skin that he has to use. Nobody making a play for that just yet. There's the level 16 talents now. With that, we got the piercing arrow, we got the Templar's Verdict. Also, of course, for Garrosh, the seasoned soldier right here. And the earlier position over on the shrine. So they have a little bit of a lead into this objective. And here comes Wit, and they're looking for the team fight. Look at Dino, Zeratul. He's looking for Nick. Trying to get a play here. Has to jump away as we are having Medivh flying down. Polybomb is always a big problem, so he needs to be a little bit more careful than usual. There's a lot of counter plays against Zeratul aggressive engages now. Dino still sitting tight, 21-22 stacks against 22, they're dead even. Here comes the jump into the back line, Zeratul is there. They're making the counter play though, top lane gets pressured by a camp in the meantime. Nick is low, Nick is dead, and they could go for Banana Age now too. Yasuo was hit by the Polybomb, but now it's a 5 versus 4, and here comes Imperius with a lunge. Counter kill attempt against Wit, and he goes down. Johanna is dead, but the top keep is in trouble. Cure might also be in a bit more pain here, drops the ult. Punisher is taken by Feel the Heat. The delivery system is there. Yasuo chases them down as Medivh has already fallen. That's the end of Urel. Easy double kill, and now they move down through the bottom of the map, taking the 4 down. The top keep is already falling. It's an absolute nightmare for Washed Up. This first map is not looking good for them. Feel the Heat is playing a fantastic game. Great action throughout the entire game here by them. Good portal control by Ultralisk in particular. Dino doing what Dino does best, ripping people apart with Zeratul and wielding those side blades like it's a scalpel. At this point, going straight in for keep number 2, and they are just playing Washed Up to the wall in game number 1. Washed Up has been the top dog in the European scene for ages now, but at this point, Feel the Heat is trying to turn things around. Bottom keep is about to fall, and things are starting to really spiral out of control for Washed Up. All 3 forts are still standing for Feel the Heat, and Washed Up is losing structure after structure. They're looking for the comeback opportunity though. They're trying to go for Blade, and Blade goes down. Blade eliminated, but in the middle of the map, a little bit more damage. Big arrow missing. Unfortunately, found itself narrowly missing the target. Flying cross map here, caught by our arrow cam. But now with only half a level missing until level 20, that's of course going to be a tricky recovery. Keep in the middle has also been attacked, so that's another problem. Looking at the damage numbers over here, the setup in itself hasn't really changed too much. Zeratul is still rocking the stats for them. We have 40,000 damage for Hanzo, as Nick is doing what he can here. Masquerade gets delayed a little bit, and wants to set it up after the portal comes through, but can't. They're able to take the camp, and Dino is again on the prowl. Dino goes top and starts to get some damage in. And Cure is immediately looking at the side like, yeah, I don't think so.
Nope.
I'm not going to take that 1 versus 1. That's not happening. So here's the level 20 talent, which gives us the cooldown reduction for the 10 on Johanna with Heaven's Fury. And of course now also the Twilight Falls. Yeah, and well, this is going to get nasty. 20 until the next objective is up. Possible. Unlikely though. But even if they can, is it really enough? Because you can already see how we have Feel the Heat on a really aggressive stance now, looking for the engage, looking for the fight. Zeratul in the shadows, waiting for the opportunity to get some extra damage in. Dino slipping in and out the entire time, trying to get the wave clear through with the help of Wit, of course, looking for an opportunity to just cleave through a target. The Seeker connected, and has to blink away here. Blinks out, easy peasy, more pressure in the middle of the map. Meantime, bot lane gets pressure too. Here's the flip again against Jojo. Iron Skin being used right away. The turnaround attempt with the Condemn. Trying to go for it once more. 1 level missing for Washed Up. Camps up on the map. They can take both. They can take the top Shaman camp and maybe even the one on the right side of the map. Already moving in for the first one. Very little that can be done by Washed Up now. Hazu on 4 stacks. He's never going to complete this quest. Baseline won't be completed by him. It's not happening. And again, Jojo all over the place. Still has the insane cooldown reduction. Nick nearly dead, and he is down as Zeratul moves in. And Dino! Oh, Dino, what? He's still alive. What? Dino is alive, and they take him out, and he dodges it again. What the hell? Zeratul is dodging everything, and they're starting to turn it around again. The fuck is this kid doing? Comes in once more, dodges out on Masquerade's taunt. Everything is falling apart. Objective is about to be up. It's a 5 versus 4. They're going in the middle. They want to keep 8 seconds for the shrine to activate. Catapults on it now too. What a play again by Dino with the help of Yasuo and the rest of the team. He's alive. They take the keep. Junkrat is already on the objective. Washed Up is getting crushed. It is unbelievable. Unbe-fucking-lievable. Dino with like 30 hit points, jumping out, and then he activates the Juke Master 2000, jukes everything, gets the assist of Lucio, and together they're not only able to keep him alive, but they also start to turn it again. Big arrow hitting 2. Is this maybe an opportunity to come back here? And with 20 on both sides, it's just not happening. Or is it? Lucio is down, they're all low, but Lucio is eliminated. They got 20 stacks and they can try to get the rest here. Top lane pressures, bot lane pressures. There's a lot of pressure against Washed Up. They need to make this one work. If they don't win this one, then it is lights out in this first game. They're coming in again. Dino moves in with a big cleave. Tries to get a little bit more time in their favor. 32 stacks against 9. Once again, Jojo jumping in deep. Gets the cooldown reduction set up as we speak. Zeratul waiting for a chance, tries to connect it, comes in against Hazu. Quest completed, 38 stacks right now. And there it is, the Arcane Punisher locked in by the grenades of Junkrat. And just look at the minimap. Every single lane is now pushing against the core. Zeratul comes in and drops Hanzo. Nick doesn't stand a chance here. And off we go. This is party time for Feel the Heat, as they are absolutely crushing game number 1. Cure is on the run right now, and the core is getting murdered. Catapults on each side are coming in. The Punisher is coming in too. This is game, ladies and gentlemen. And what a game. Hazu falls once more, but it doesn't matter anymore. Feel the Heat takes the first map in the best of 5 series at the grand final of the Ice Cold Cup by Chili Mountain. Okay, boys and girls, let's go! We have actually some interesting developments outside of the lead that we're seeing for Feel the Heat right now in the best of 5 series at the grand final. X-Ray is back! And I was kind of lied to. Apparently it's not even X-Ray's birthday. I was just like, wait a second, bro. You abandoned your team and you don't even have a proper excuse? So apparently he had some kind of family meeting or gathering and had to attend. I'm not quite sure if I believe him, but he's back. So X-Ray, Feel the Heat has taken the lead, and X-Ray is back to business and ready to help them lose. No, seriously, at this point, if now you're starting to lose the game, then everybody is like, wait a second, these guys made it through the semi-final without him? Then they crushed Washed Up on map number 1, and then X-Ray came back and they started losing? Coincidence? I don't think so. So, a lot of pressure on X-Ray right now. Nah, I'm just kidding. So, they are here with their full lineup right now, which is actually kind of awesome. And, of course, after the first game, I would just want to see more of that. We have bans on ETC, a ban on Junkrat, and we have Azul also banned out. Which, of course, begs the question, are we now going to see the ban on Medivh, since Junkrat is banned out too? And, yes, the answer is indeed. Which means, D.Va is up. Exactly. And, well, there she is. Blade comes in and locks the toxic D.Va skin in right away. So, yeah, we're good to go. I like this draft already. So, pretty nicely done here by Feel the Heat. And now that they have the little D.Va setup over here, let's see what she can actually pull off in this one. Right now, we have the counter pick attempts. I mean, Urella, for example, is still open. You could go Jojo if you want to have more wave clear, if you're looking more so towards the front line opening. But this is... that's kind of good. There's Jojo, and there's Urel. Called it! And, well, for the opponent now, this is where it also starts to become a little bit more interesting, because right now you can still delay Dino and... okay, that was quick. I was about to say you can actually delay Dino's and Ultralisk pick a little bit, but instead they're locking at least the Karrigan in right away. We expected it for a long time to come in from Nick, but now we have Ultralisk showcasing his Karrigan, which is of course also pretty sick. But together with that, we have Deckard Kane too. So, yeah, looks nice. Looks actually like really good. So, let's see. The bans come in. And now you can ban the frontline a bit. What you don't want to go up against is even more CC. Could ban Imperius, for example. And instead they ban Tyrael, which... so he fills a bit of a different role within the entire setup, so you're not supplying an additional CC, but since now, after Blizzard introduced the medallion, you're pretty much able to get a sanctification through whenever you want to, because you can put yourself unstoppable. this is also a really neat setup, since any kind of Carrigan approach, when you have a Tyrael jumping in with the Carrigan, providing the shield, providing the sanctification, you can force the fight pretty much wherever you want. So now we got the ban out on Chromie, but I like this already. I mean, the entire series so far, its tournament so far has been amazing, has been absolutely fantastic. So let's see how this grand final is shaping up here. It would be kind of insane, honestly, if Feel the Heat is now crushing through all of this. Honestly, the way these games are going, the more maps we get, the better. But even if this ends up being a 3-0 something, that would be insane on the face of it. First of all, that Feel the Heat crushes through it, and then just the quality of games that we've seen so far is just awesome. So in comes Ana's Banana, and Banana's Ana is pretty bananas. That's why Ana's Banana gets usually banned out, because everybody knows that Ana's Banana is bananas. So with all of that said and done, the nano boost on Jaina is going to be pretty important, and Hazu could murder on this one. Blaze, there's the additional stun. Okay, Tacita Blaze. Interesting end of the draft here. So a Blaze main tank right now on Tomb of the Spider Queen because of the D.Va setup that they already have here. So a pretty sexy setup. A little bit unorthodox. I mean, you don't see that Blaze main tank that much. We've seen it initially after the jet propulsion changes came through, a little bit on maps like Infernal Shrines, for example. Lauer showcased that a few times. We've seen it very, very rarely. Oftentimes not with a lot of success, but here you have those stuns and it actually adds a lot. And you have wave play together with it too. Nick this time is going to try and show Ultralisk how Maiev is being played. So we have a bit of a swap-a-rooney going on. Instead of Nick playing Carrigan, we have Ultralisk on Carrigan. And instead of Ultralisk playing Maiev, we have Nick now going for the hero. So it's kind of cool. Tomb of the Spider Queen is the map. Map number 2 in the best of 5 series. Get the grand final. Let's jump straight into it. Game number 2. Feel the Heat is in the lead. And on the left side of Tomb of the Spider Queen, we have Hazu. On Jaina, we got Nick on Maiev, Masquerade on Johanna, Ana on Banana, Banana on Ana, and Cure playing Urel. So Cure, again, playing cross-server from North America, so keep in mind he has a bit of a bigger ping, which is definitely going to make some interactions more complicated for him. And on the right side of the map, Feel the Heat with Wit in the main tank, Blaze role with X-Ray. On Deckard Kane, we got Blade. On D.Va, Ultralisk. On Carrigan, and Dino is playing Tacita. In game number 2. Time to shine. Let's get ready to rock and roll. So, right now, we got, well, first of all, we have actually D.Va in a little bit of trouble. Blade needs to be careful. Gets zipped in again, thanks to Maiev. And, ooh, yeah, they shielded him nicely because Hazu was already attempting to come in from the side to flank and get the CC onto her. So that didn't really work out, but damn. So we got on level 1, again, the liquid cooling. The build has been pretty stable on D.Va the entire time. But today, at least, D.Va is undefeated. So at least today, nobody has been able to successfully take down a D.Va team. So we'll see if that streak continues or if it's going to be broken here. New habits on level 1 for Blaze, so he's going to try and get his own unstoppable through too. And yeah, already had to use the Gladiator's Medallion over here. So that's now on the 5-minute cooldown. Towards the top, Carrigan still getting a little bit attacked over here. Ultralisk is playing this super, super safe. Just getting the gems, nothing else. Playing it slow. Masquerade just going for the a bit of a slow B-step that we have from him. But I'm a bit hyped for this one. It's an interesting touch to put Wit on Blaze as the main tank. I mean, Blaze obviously is one of the heroes that you will see most of the time in a lot of games, but on the side lane. In the main tank role, you can play him, and pretty much what allowed Blaze to be played in the main tank role is when Blizzard started to change his jet propulsion, because that allowed him to get a more reliable stun through against targets, whereas previously, with a longer wind-up time, it was really difficult to get that stun connected. So ever since that changed, you could see occasionally Blaze being played in that position. And it offers, of course, a lot for them, because not only can they bunker up whenever they make an engage, but at the same time, it's an additional stun that really helps them to capitalize on any kind of setup that they can throw Carrigan in, and even together with D.Va. So for the role that they're looking here, it really fits the bill quite nicely. Blade, a little bit overconfident at the bottom of the map here. The gems aren't lost, they get recovered. But losing D.Va in that situation is, of course, a bit unfortunate. I mean, normally it's pretty difficult to really take her down that easily, but Blade just overestimating his position. a lot, let's be honest. So yeah, we got stacks, of course, with the Q setup for Tassadar is currently sitting at 20. Kerrigan herself also starting to get a little bit more with the sharpened blades over here. We have the potion of shielding on level 4 for Deckard Cain, so not playing around Ruby in this case. And still the setup with another quick drag against Wit this time. He has 10 gems, so he needs to be a bit careful. But here come the stuns as they're starting to go for it. Combo is hitting, but there's the Iron Skin. Nicely done by Nick. But now he's getting isolated. Yeah, Nick and Masquerade. They were both caught there for just a moment, but now it starts to turn against D.Va again. The heals are there, though, as X-Ray helps the team. And we are off to a good start again. God, I just simply love that we have a setup like this. This is a great grand final, and it should be a cool series no matter how it ends. Just the quality of games alone is just fantastic over here. And honestly, I think it's really cool that Q is playing for Washed Up here too. Q are definitely one of the most humble players, and when it comes to NA players, he's definitely one of my top 5s here. I still remember watching some of the BlizzCon Grand Finals together with Mene and him, and yeah, super nice dude. So pretty cool to see him here playing for Washed Up and subbing in today. We got 1 kill so far in the entire game. The level 7 talents are there for the blue team. On the red team side, of course, they're still waiting to lock this in. There's turn-in attempts on both sides now with 22 gems delivered against 19. But there's a continuous poke from the two. And Masquerade's condemned. Oh, Nick actually for a second threatening Dino in the back, but not willing to engage into the tower range. And level 7 talents are now, of course, present for both teams. There's a bit of extra experience got soaked by Feel the Heat. Still no completed turn-ins, but both teams are working on it. Nick with another tether against Dino. Kerrigan could help out maybe a bit. Dino gets the potion and survives. And now Ultralisk is in a position where he can start to hunt down Nick, but he's still able to jump out, and Wit isn't in range. Can't connect the stun here. Nicely done. Bottom of the map though, Blade and Cure still fighting off the 1 versus 1 over here. You still see in the middle the teams poking around. Level 7 talents, and so far there's not really anything that has been done there just yet in terms of the objective. So we're a little bit slow actually on objective number 1. Both of the teams are doing a great job of delaying it as much as they can. The red team now a bit more successful by delivering their gems. They're on 41 and they're controlling the turning point as much as they can. Kerrigan at the top might be in a bit of trouble. Ultralisk is low. Hazu connecting damage but not enough. Gets the slows through. But now they are aiming for Wit, and X-Ray is starting to join the fun to help the team out. But it is a close one. Everybody's fighting for the first Webweaver wave. Now they're going for Masquerade, who has to commit to the Iron Skin again. But that allows a little bit of space for Q at the bottom of the map, and he is able to deliver the remaining gems that they were still needing to get this one. Oh, the kill! Dino goes down, 2 kills against 0. Well done. Washed Up, able to get the second kill. Great moment in this game too to connect this one. Means that the defense is going to be a bit more tricky for Feel the Heat as the Webweavers are touching ground. Tassadar is not here yet, and he will have to travel all the distance. Nicely done. Good job from Washed Up. That's going to be a very, very powerful push here. They move through the middle. I mean, the wall is gone within a second. That includes the fountain. And they might, with the level 10 now, be able to take the fort down too. Honestly, I would be shocked if they are not able to take this down. So, yeah. Actually, they're instead going straight for the kill. And they take Blaze down. This isn't looking good for Feel the Heat. Not at all. This is the first objective in the game. And usually it doesn't come in this late. Disc is missing. Nick can't connect it. But because it came in so late, it comes with a level 10 ability. So it's actually great, fantastic timing. Normally it doesn't really work out this way. We're talking mostly about the second objective and level 10 abilities are getting ready. But in this particular situation, this is a fantastic push. They took down the wall at the bottom of the map. They eliminated the fort in the middle. And they even got some damage done all the way up at the top. Now we have level 10 abilities on both sides, which gives us Archon, Ultralisk for Ultralisk, and also the Bunny Hop here. But can they turn it around with that? That's the bigger question now. Because the early game didn't go their way, but by no means out of this. They're still in experience range, they're still looking good, and they have the gems that could allow them to just get their own turn in. Blade gets attacked. Again, the disc missing. Second disc now that was thrown out, and the second one that doesn't connect. They're trying to go for D.Va, and Blade is dead. Oh, no! Maybe not? Oh, what? Oh, you're joking, right? Oh, Cure is gonna be unhappy. Red Web Weavers are coming in. But guys, take a quick look at this one. So she's in the bunker, trying to get out with pretty much no hit points, rushes away, then the stun comes in from Blaze as they're trying to save her, and that's just insane. So is able to run away, and now of course the push as they're trying to make sure that they get at least a bit of counter pressure. It's 4 kills against 0, so Feel the Heat is still waiting for the first kill. But damn son, Red Web Weaver wave coming through. And as we see this, again, keep in mind that there's also a little bit of delay, obviously, for Cure, but the jukes were definitely incredible that we just saw. And of course, the assist that came in from Blaze on top of that, too. Bit of an attack against Maiev in the middle, but she's still sitting tight. We got some of those walls destroyed, and the top fort has also suffered a lot of damage. Here comes the Blessed Shield as Jojo is moving in. And, yep, we have a game on our hands. There's another 52 gems in the hands of the red team. Blue team does have enough for a turn-in already. Can they put those to the test? Hazu, by the way, is getting solid damage out on his character. I mean, just check out his baseline. He's already sitting at 12,000 damage, so he's actually really close to completing the baseline quest and getting the ice block out. Oh, that's gonna be a good explosion. Ah, well, maybe not. There's the disc to stop the mech explosion. Damn! Talk about getting wrecked. That explosion would have hurt. And he gets the disc out, hits the mech, and delays the explosion long enough for everybody to walk out of it. So that was pretty neat. Half a level is missing for the level 13. Hazops tries to turn in. They secured 33. And with pausing the game here, they might have some trouble with our resident sleeper down at the bottom of the map. And yes, indeed, that's the case. Carrigan. So Ultralisk has dropped out of the game again. But the situation over here is a little bit dicey right now, because all that the blue team is trying to do is get the turn-in completed as long as they have the level 13 talent advantage, but they only have a 3 versus 4 now. So there's 4 heroes pushing in against them, with Cure starting to make his way in too. And since they're also trying to gank up against Carrigan down here, so that's a little bit of a tricky one, since we have Nick already on Carrigan with a tether, as Ultralix is trying to make his way back into the game, and then Urel moving in too. Which pretty much means that if she really commits to the bot lane, at the top it shouldn't be possible for Washed Up to get the turn in. So they're starting to chase Carrigan, and Ultralisk is in a bit of trouble. He's on 10 stacks. D.Va goes down top. They win a 3 versus 4. X-Ray's down, helping the rest of the team. They're going for the lock. And Nick, can they get the kill? He tried to go for the ult, and the disc comes out in time. And still the channel, and the ult is wasted. God, that just feels bad. That just really feels bad. Look at that disc. Look at this. He gets the disc out just as he winds up, walks away from it, and then Deckard Cain completes the channel once that he comes out of it. Yeah, highly unlucky right there. And the blue web weavers, they are coming down now too. So this is 5 kills against 0. And, I mean, Carrigan should have died there. Maiev. So really, really good job by Nick in particular. So down to the bottom of the map, we already have Urel preparing the lane for the web weavers as they're touching ground. And up at the top, you see a very similar one as well. Yeah, this fort is also in a lot of trouble. Masquerade with the 20 stacks that he has is starting to push this out as well. This game is really starting to become difficult to turn. Again, ooh, a nice disc at this point. Negated, but still, Tacita is dead. 6 kills to 0. 1.5 levels ahead. 7 to 0, and they're looking for more. Maybe the counter kill against Hazops. Banana H is low too. But D.Va can't do anything here. Gets pushed back again, and goodbye, Blade. Oh my god, he has 36 gems. Oh, Blade is dead, guys. This is a disaster. Look at that bot lane pressure. Look at the top lane pressure. And we have nearly all the gems lost now on the side of Feel the Heat. Oh my god. That is getting a bit insane. 8 kills to 0. Oh. And of course, it just continues. They are 3 levels ahead right now. L2. That's the end of the keep. And now they're trying to go at least for the counter kill. Nick is down. Finally a kill for Feel the Heat. Finally a kill for them. They go for the next one. They try to take Cure down. He might actually die here. He gets isolated. The problem is that Wit is also about to fall. Stays alive for just a second longer. Nice, the jukes. once more, and Urel gets out. But take a look at this. Just take a look at this one. 36 gems, that's the moment where they pretty much start to lose hope. They go for the kill against, that's the third one that comes in time. All the gems are lost, and those are usually your ticket back into the game. And of course now they still hold 42, but let's not forget that they're working on turn in number 2, whereas we have enough gems in the hands of Washed Up to secure a third one for themselves. So there's a huge difference right there. Wow. That's a bit crazy. Damage output, Tacita, he died twice, but he's still looking strong on the damage with 28,000, but of course he can't hold a candle to Jaina, who's at 46k. So that's kind of crazy. Now, with 8 kills to 1, another Web Weaver wave is already on the move. And honestly, at this point, Nick is really just YOLOing out Disc like it's candy. I mean, he's just throwing them out there. Connected a fair amount of them, but this one did not hit anything. Tacita is still dying in the fight. And this explosion is hurting the water element a little bit, but that was about it. How shitty is that explosion, by the way, if it can't even take down a chunk of water? I mean, seriously? So, right now, the push through the middle, this is already looking tricky. Web Weavers in the bot lane with the Siege Shine camp in the middle with the rest of the team. 16 talent advantage for a few more seconds, but it looks like, yeah, this has to be keep number 2, if not keep number 3, right? This could be core. I mean, Tacita is still down. And yes, they get the same talent, so they are actually on the same talent tier now. But Blade is just getting crushed on his D.Va. The mech is again lost. He has to retreat here. The keep at the bottom is going to take damage in just a few moments. And in the middle, it's already down to 50% HP. This is not looking good at all. Not at all. And, right, I mean, boah, wow. Didn't expect that. Gotta admit, did not expect this to be such a one-sided game, especially after the first map that we saw. 10 kills to 1, and now they go for next kill. The Chrysalis is barely keeping Karrigan alive for another moment, but Ultralisk is still low and he still falls. 27 gems are lost now. We have the shields on the core pretty much destroyed already. The bottom keep was somehow saved, God knows how, but I can tell you it's probably not going to be saved for long unless they go straight for core here. It's 12 kills to 1. 3-level advantage, and yeah, this keep, whenever you just spit on it, it will fall apart. I don't think they realized that though. If they would have realized how low it is, I think Haas would have just gone in there and hit an Ice Lance one way or another, with them now going for boss and 2 heroes down. It doesn't matter too much, but that's pretty much a second or 2 that you have to invest to take it. This boss should end the game, and that would bring us into an even playing field in the best of 5. It would pretty much reduce the entire series to a best of 3. Yeah, 1 versus 1 in just a second incoming. I would be absolutely shocked if they can somehow defend this. But then again, they're actually letting this one slide, going for the fountain in the middle and retreating up. And of course, they're doing all of this with a level 20 talent now, too. Radiating Faith is already in. We got the Shadow Orb Vengeance. And yeah, this is Blaze dying. Wit is already in trouble, has to bunker up. Karrigan comes through, tries to help. That ain't happening. There's the kill against Karrigan. Can Karrigan carry again? And the big answer is nope. X-Ray with 40 gems also goes down. Blade is about to get murdered. Well, ladies, this is it. 5-man team wipe incoming. As the boss already in core, they put Tacita into a corner and beat the shit out of him. And that is a game. Nicely done by Washed Up. Dominant victory in map number 2. 17 kills to 1. And this is a tie in the best of 5 series here at the grand final. GG and well played as Washed Up just dominates Tomb of the Spider Queen. Game 3. Yeah, a little bit of a wild one. Game number 1 was incredible, and then all of a sudden we see the second map, and it is a stomp. I mean, oh boy. Feel the Heat got murdered on that one. Washed Up just showing up as a completely different team, which was incredible. And now we're heading into the third map. So pretty much the entire best of 5 has been reduced to a best of 3 right now. And I'm a little bit curious to see how this is now going to shape up, because after the first map I didn't really expect such a dominant performance there on the second map. To be fair, though, there's oftentimes, of course, the element of you getting a lot of early game control and then snowballing the game a bit. And as I said, the first objective on Tomb of the Spider Queen was delayed pretty significantly, which allowed the first objective to coincident with the level 10 ability. And that allowed them to really push through a lot more. So, as it stands, we have the Diva ban coming through right away, though, but also Zul gets banned out. It's a huge map, so if you can make a rotation set up with Zul and the wave clear, then he can really dominate a map on this one. And yeah, let's see how this is gonna pan out, because, yeah, well, I was about to say that Medivh on this map adds a lot to any draft, also because of the size of the map and the easier rotations towards an objective away from it, and just the way that those prisoner camps are set up. But Medivh gets bad out so quickly that it's not gonna play a role at all. And, well, let's see what we're gonna do on the side of Feel the Heat right now. What do you ban out over here? Do you target Nick again? This is also a map where you could see something along the lines of Tracer once more. But they get rid of Urel first, so Urel gets eliminated here. That's the first thing that happens. And we're looking at first pick still. Which is going to be interesting here for them. Honestly, on this map, you could still play around Imperius and lock him in super early here. I'm actually a bit curious to see what they're going to go for now. On all direct pass. I mean, you can still play this also with globals, of course. Johanna, still, okay. It's actually interesting to me that especially Cure locks it in right now. Maybe Masquerade is AFK again. But, yep, let's have a look. This is always a little bit of a weird one. I mean, again, team fights are super important here. This is another map where I could also totally see a Zeratul pick, Tracer pick. Any kind of agile damage dealer can be really good if you're trying to just like fight around either the objective or something else. Keep in mind that you have two bosses on the map, so oftentimes boss control plays a role here too. Here's the Imperius pick. Again, I personally thought that maybe Washed Up takes it as a first pick, but they decided against that, and I feel the Heat does not give him up. And says right away, okay, if you don't take him first, then we're gonna lock him in on the second spot. Deckard Kane together with that. I mean, the old geezer has now started to really become a staple in the game again, which is awesome, because he is always quite a lot of fun with the zone control that he brings to the table. And there's the Tracer pick, Tracer and Abathur. Well, as I said, if you can play with Tracer on this map, then let's go for it. And Abathur, we talked about him earlier. We saw him once today on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Towers of Doom. And I mentioned back then that on big maps, he's always an option, especially when you have a strong Abathur player. And Hazu is known for that. Hasn't played him in quite some time. There's other heroes that were more down his alley and that were more in the focus. But Hazu has always been one of the players that can rock a very solid Abathur. And he's going to try and do that again here with Tracer coming in through Nick. And if you thought that a Tracer is annoying to deal with, try a Tracer with a symbiote on top of her. Because that is just absolutely going to crush your backline if you're not careful. So Lucio gets banned out. No quick rotations over here. Sound barriers therefore also out of the question. And you can't use the boops to just push someone out. But, well, there's the Zeratul ban. Yeah, they pick Tracer, they ban Zeratul. The two heroes that I mentioned just previously. Of course, if you're going up against Dino, seeing a Zeratul ban isn't really all that uncommon. If you remember the first game in this series, Zeratul had a huge role in that game. So it was a massive impact that Dino had with that hero, as usual. So having that banned doesn't come as a shock or as a surprise. So off we go, with Tyrael and Reyna being picked. So a few more layers that we have. And Tyrael pick in particular also supplies you with the added shield. Reyna, then again, is currently sitting here too. And yeah. Jimmy with the auto attacks. That, of course, is kind of nice. The thing with Tracer is if you have just skill shots around to try and take her down, she can dodge out on a lot of that. If you have good auto attackers, she can't dodge that. So that's why in the past you've seen sometimes Sergeant Hammer taken against Tracer. Here comes Karazim. Karazim with Abathur, of course, always a beast in the chicken skin for Masquerade, as he locks Deathwing in for now. But yeah, Karazim with Abathur is also insanely scary. So it all will depend on how well they are playing around the symbiote and also the copy later on. But Tracer is going to be sick city. Off we go. Yeah, the draft got cut short a little bit, and I think I have to lead you through that quickly. So the reason why the draft actually dropped is that Washed Up, Masquerade wasn't there, and therefore the Deathwing pick was actually an automized pick, and they immediately called it and said like, guys, sorry, but we didn't want to pick Deathwing over here. We wanted to pick Leo, but Masquerade was away. Can someone dodge the draft? And we just like finish it out. So it's Leoric instead of Deathwing on the side lane, and the last pick that came then in for Feel the Heat was Cassia. So the setup here on the third map is still Banana H for Washed Up on Kerosene. We got Nick on Tracer, Hazu on Abatha, Cure on Leoric, and Masquerade on Johanna. On the right side of the map for Feel the Heat, Wid on Tyrael, Deckard Cain played by X-Ray, Dino on Cassia, Blade on Imperius, and Ultralisk is playing his Jimmy. And immediately drops again. It wouldn't be a game with Feel the Heat if Ultralisk didn't actually drop a couple of times. And I gotta admit, I was a little bit worried when we had the first map and the first series with him, because for some reason he actually didn't drop. And I was like, wait a second, is that really Ultralisk? That little fucker's dancing as well. Yeah, another 3-2-3 moment brought to you by Feel the Heat and Ultralisk. Oh yeah, baby. By the way, people are sometimes still asking what a 3-2-3 moment actually is. There was a bit of a tactical pause in the North American game at some point, and one of the players was going through the keyboard and actually typed 3-2-3 in chat. So as a bit of a conspiracy setup, that's pretty much thrown out every time now someone is accused of having a tactical pause or something. That's kind of the short version of it. But as we're heading now into the game here, we got Nick, of course, on his Tracer. That was to be expected. We have at the same time the pressurized Glands now in on the level 1. We got the stacks for Cassia. Dino, of course, loves to do that and has done a lot of it. But yeah, it's a pretty fun setup. I don't even know where exactly Ultralisk lives. I think I talked about this at some point and someone told me, but I forgot. I think it's somewhere in the middle of the woods in Germany. I don't know. But yeah. The German internet in particular is notorious, but as Angie said, the internet is new for us. So, top side. That's where Cure is facing a couple, mini gank, but he also gets some assistance from Abatha. Abby is there, helping him out, and it's just like, alright, we are fine. So, let's go. Yeah, but again, this map is going to lead the way a bit for the rest of the series. Whoever takes it is going to take that lead, and once you're in the best of 5, you're ahead with 2 games, and obviously you're in a pretty decent spot. Jimmy, by the way, with the Exterminator on level 1, so that means that boss control is again going to be highly important. Teams went for the camps right away after them spawning. There's only 2 in the map, pretty important, so you take them pretty much whenever they spawn. Level 4 abilities are now ready as well. And with this, we got our Needlespine on level 1 and the aggression already through the middle. Keep in mind, when you're going up against an Abatha composition, one of the things that you can do is try and pressure them early on as much as possible, because they don't have as many hit point pools and bodies in a big team fight. And this is more or less what we're seeing here now. A heavy aggression throughout the middle in the attempt to take some of these structures down already. But don't forget that there's a side lane soak from Abatha. So Abatha is currently body soaking at the top. Hazorbs needs to move away, since the team is now slowly starting to rotate in. But that's always kind of important. So in this situation, was a nice move here, but highly important to make sure that Abatha, of course, then doesn't die to that setup. But as all of this continues, we have now camps about to spawn again on the map, and teams need to deal with that. At the same time, also, of course, still the pressure play through the middle, as you can see right here. And yeah, it's all just simply about the first objective to an extent, but normally we see level 7 coming in and the talents that go with it before the teams make real big commitment. For the Abatha team, level 10 is super important, since this is the first time when you have the copy available that allows the team to come into a team fight with 5. But of course, Abatha also scales very aggressively with the late game and is super powerful once that he has, let's say, the Soma Transference out on the 13 and then also the 16 and 20 there. So there's that. A little bit of stacking happening still from Dino, who's of course towards the late game also going to be pretty good on the scaling side if he does a good job early on. Right now he's sitting on 12 stacks, trying to get a few more against Masquerade in particular here on the Lightning Fury. But in we go. We got the Leo support also. And there's a lot of heroes that will really capitalize on the symbiote a lot. I mean, especially when you're talking about chasing targets down, it's not only Nick that you gotta be careful of with his Tracer, but you also have to really watch out for Karazim, who of course, through the added attack the added auto attack speed, is gonna be very happy with his trade on L1. There's also the Mule now. Recall attempt as Masquerade comes in from the side. 4 versus 2 though, so gotta be careful. No Ruby again this time. Potion of shielding for them, and with the first camp already about to be captured, the red team is trying to apply pressure early on in the game, as we already talked about. As long as the blue team doesn't have their level 10, they need to be careful around the Abathur setup, but he is able to use that global to give them an experience lead, and that's what they're aiming for, and it's already established. They are on the earlier level 8, but if Feel the Heat can take the objective here, that would be great and would allow them also to push a bit farther with them. Blade is already sitting tight here, tries to get the stun connected against Tracer, but doesn't. She jumps out. And here's the 4 versus 5 fight again with the symbiote helping out as much as possible. X-Ray just running around, the old man getting empowered a bit by Tyrael here. The problem is that Blade is in trouble, and he's in a lot of trouble. But he gets healed out, and the shields are coming in too. So nicely done, and with the pressure against Banana H, he is taking a ton of damage right now. So, yep, big problem for him. So far, everybody's still good to go. And the objective, again, pressured by Feel the Heat. Yeah, they want to win this one early on. And honestly, they're looking pretty okay right now. They have pushed the opponent down heavily, but this could be the attack. Ultralisk is in a world of pain on Jimmy and is about to go down. Walks away with 19 HP, and Karazin comes in and just plants his fist in his face. Jimmy goes down, so does Leo. Tyrael dies too, and the objective is taken. Objective claimed by Feel the Heat. First one locked in, half a level only missing though, and then we're gonna have the level 10 abilities ready for Washed Up, so they should be set for the defense, as we still have Abathur soaking the top. Just moved away from lane as Imperius started to rotate in, but oh boy. Holy hell. Yep, that was a neat one. Okay, so with this, can they actually get some objective pressure through? Because I kind of doubt that a bit. If you have a level 10 against you, you're very unlikely to pressure, even if you have the objective. Blade at the top has to face off against Leo at the bottom of the map. There's at least some damage coming in. But as now Washed Up rotates down, Feel the Heat has to retreat. 38 stacks for Cassia is pretty solid though. We're 6.5 minutes in, so that's not really too bad. It's a good start into the game for them. If they can have some more extended fights over the objective, that might just be enough to get Dino to a really sexy damage output as the game continues. But at least for the time being, the advantage is in the hands of Washed Up. There comes the Blessed Shield. Oh, that 7-sided was a little bit of a fail. Yeah, that was kind of planned slightly differently. That didn't really do anything for them. But now both teams have their rogue abilities. Of course, it would have been great for them to get the kill here against Tyrael, but yeah, not quite. So, as all of this pans out, we have pretty much normal abilities on level 10. Nothing that would really shock anybody. 7-sided, as usual. Of course, the copy, Ultimate Evolution, Entomb, Blessed Shield. I mean, Wid and his boys, they like to play with the Falling Sword, but in this case, it's all about the Blessed Shield and trying to connect the extra stun here. Ball of lightning, and still pressure through the middle of the map, trying to take the wall down. I feel the Heat is really applying a lot of pressure right now. And it's actually pretty cool for them. It's a way different game than what we've seen on the second map. Here's the Entomb against Jimmy. Nicely done. Well connected by Cure. They're going for it. Sanctification gets dropped. Sank gets dropped, and here comes the setup attempt. But the Blessed Shield turns it around. Hazorps loses the copy, and they still get the kill. Nice. They got Kane. Gets wrecked. Blade finally appearing in the fight too, but it's already a bit too late. The best they can hope for is a kill against Leoric, and even that doesn't seem like it's going to work out with the symbiote being connected. Well done with 3 kills to 1. Washed Up is taking an advantage not only in experience but also in the kill count. But the objective is popping up on the map again. But down to the bottom, Masquerade starting to actually activate the boss here. Now, I don't really think that they can make too much happen in that situation. Would have been a little bit different if they were the one team that runs Jimmy here, because his damage output with the Exterminator is just absolutely fantastic in a spot like this. But as you can tell, we have now a bit of a fight over the bot lane, and the retreat of Masquerade is not really secure. He goes down just as Q is trying to create a little bit of space for him. Instead, he's attempting to ghost out and should be able to get away here. Abathur is now also sitting in the middle, and Feel the Heat is just continuing to apply that pressure. But with Johanna down, they can now make that play that just a second ago Masquerade was thinking about. They're going for the boss, and this is looking quite promising. They just murder that thing easy peasy with Exterminator, giving them a ton of value here. And that's just a freebie right there and should result in the 4 taken out too. So lots of control right now for Feel the Heat. And especially on structures, they're doing much better. Mule is of course a great tool in the arsenal of Abathur, and he's still the only hero that holds Mule, but it doesn't really do anything for you if your opponent commits to every single structure that gets damaged and tries to take it down. Blessed Shield gets thrown out, doesn't hit anything. And here comes the attack with the fountain already gone. Deckard Cain with a lockdown right there. And everybody's starting to move in. Of course, the boss not really too strong just yet, but it seems to be enough. Ball of Lightning connects nicely. And Masquerade is starting to lose HP and dies. She just came back. I mean, this is literally Jojo dying, respawning, moving down to the bottom, and instantly dying again. And currently in the middle, Leo at least pushed out the lane a bit and was able to apply pressure onto the mid lane and therefore take the fountain down. But if you just compare the situation, this is getting kinda insane. Because Feel the Heat is doing so well here. Here's the problem though. They're falling farther and farther behind in experience. They're still a level behind, easily. So despite the fact that we see really nice moves from Feel the Heat on the attacker side, with them just taking structures down, being aggressive around the boss, the Abathur factor gives a lot of experience over to the blue team, and once that they have the talent advantages, this is going to be a very different ballgame. Now, you can pretty easily see that too in the experience gain over here. Abathur has already soaked 13,000 experience for them, and there's only 6,000 that has been soaked by the top soaker for Feel the Heat, which is Imperius. You compare the minion experience over here, that's 29,000 to 22k. That's insane. That's an insane difference between the two. And it is what's responsible for the situation that Feel the Heat is in right now. They're taking down structures, they're getting kills, but at the same time, they are in real trouble when it comes to holding an experience advantage or closing that gap. So, huge difference between them. Now, there's the objective, again being contested, but if you just look at the experience gain, level 16 is so close, that there's a very good chance that Washed Up will be able to fight with it for the objective, and yet that's exactly where we are right now. 45,000 damage now from Cassia, and Tomb is missing. That's unfortunate for Washed Up. They're still trying, though, to force that fight. Here's the 7-sided, and the Sanctification, saving the ass of them. Tyrael is still alive, Leo is down. Nicely done. Feel the Heat turning the battle despite the fact that they have a talent disadvantage. And now they're going for the objective once more. It's actually pretty respectable what they're doing here. And if you take a quick look at what we're seeing on the side of Cassia, she's at 70 stacks right now. I mean, that's not too shabby. So right now, another attempt to go for the attack, as we have Washed Up trying to recommit to the objective. They don't want to lose out on this one. The old man with a great sleep. Stay a while and get wrecked, baby. Oh, here comes the jump. Everybody's still alive and kicking on the blue team, on the red team side. They win the objective. Can they win the fight, though? 7-sided. Imperius down. Jimmy down. Leo down. Cassia down. Nick wants to kill. The old man dead too. They go for the 5-man team wipe. Nick wants it. Nick doesn't get it. He gets it with Abathur. 5-man team wipe. As the red team wins the objective, but gets blown off the map. 16 talents on both sides. It's going to be an easy defense for them. But oh boy, this could have been so much worse for Washed Up here. And Feel the Heat. I mean, on the one hand, they of course lose a lot of the control that they were trying to establish. On the other hand, this could have been worse for them. If they lose the fight and the objective, I don't want to say it's lights out, but then they would find themselves so far behind that it's pretty impossible to come back into this. I'm not saying it's going to be easy to make that step. You're 2 levels behind now, but at least it's even talents. So this is kind of a crazy one. Here comes another move, and Jimmy is dead again, and so is Cassia. They try to go for the counter kill. Banana H goes down. It's a 2-for-1 trade, but they're hoping for more, obviously. Nick, he still has that symbiote advantage, and he is murdering them with the help of Abathur. As much damage as Cassia gets out in this game, look how Nick just dances around them. I mean, he's literally running circles around the entire team at this point, and he is doing just so much damage with Abby. It's kind of nuts. I mean, 56,000 damage by Tracer, and Abathur comes in at 33k. The two of them together are just blowing them to pieces, and the Soma Transference on 13 is helping so much here, of course. So Abathur is still sitting at the bottom of the map. He's still soaking whenever he can here. Hazo is helping out all over the place. This is rough. And this is exactly what we talked about earlier. There's a lot of good moves from Feel the Heat. A lot of fantastic pushes. They go for structures. They do what they can. They take bosses. They take kills. But the problem is that with Abathur just murdering them, not only in teamfights, but also on the macro level, they're falling farther and farther behind and just can't keep up in experience. Now the move towards the top makes a whole lot of sense. They're really just dominating on these boss moves, and they are now trying to take this one as quickly as possible. For Washed Up, it's an opportunity to get a little bit closer to level 20, and that will be a huge lead. Now they have the top 4 eliminated, the one in the middle has fallen too, and of course still Leo at the bottom of the map working on the third one. But it's a crazy spot to be in right now. I mean, for Feel the Heat, this is a frustrating experience to say the least. And this is one of those typical things when you're going up against a good Abathur player on a big map. Has a huge impact on how you're playing this out. And of course you can't forget about playing a fair 1 versus 1. Abathur, if he's known for anything, it's not respecting the 1v1. And he's already showcasing that. I mean, just to give you guys a bit of an idea, again, look at the experience here. 20,000 XP soaked by Abathur. And the experience difference between the two teams just through minion experience. Forget about hero experience for just a second. Forget about passive experience. Just look at the amount of minion soak that we have from Abathur and his team compared to what's happening on the side of Feel the Heat. And that's pretty much all that you need to know here. So with level 20 talents in their hands, they can go for an easy boss play at the bottom of the map, of course. And right now, top 4 is at least exchanged, so Feel the Heat does exactly what they need to do. They realize that boss is going to be attacked next at the bottom of the map, and they're saying, alright guys, let's take the top 4. They're even a little bit afraid that there might be a gank coming their way, so they're actually half stoning out. They're not 100% certain that the opponent is at the bottom of the map. They expect it, but they don't know, so they play it safe and move away from it. Can now also refuel mana, refuel hit points, and try to go into the fight. Try and outpoke this a bit. But they're still an entire level behind. So you gotta make a choice right now. Do you just soak lane, so you go to 20 and then defend on 20, or do you really try to play around this? They have to defend the bot lane, of course, too, which is another big thing. 84 stacks is what we're having right now. And, well, with 84 stacks, Dino has a decent damage output, but if Tracer is just putting so much pressure onto Cassia at the beginning of every single fight, then that doesn't really do anything for you. Level 21, objective is taken, and they're even starting to steal away the camp at the top. So things are not really looking up for Feel the Heat. Once that they have 20, if they still hold on to all the keeps, it's a bit of a different story. I mean, structurally speaking, there's not big advantage yet for Washed Up. So if somehow Feel the Heat is able to hold on to their structures a little bit longer, there's a decent chance, but there's always the question of whether or not you can pull that off. And that's not going to be an easy one to answer, because, well, now that the objective is going to come in any second, that could be the end of 1 or 2 of these forts. There's the Buried Alive, and off we go. Sanctification already got used too, and they're pushing it back with the attempt to take Leo down, just before that cavalry hits the ground. Pushed out the bot lane, pushed out the mid lane, 20 is going to be ready for them. Feel the Heat with Storm Talons against Washed Up, as Washed Up is going for a crucial attack over here. They want the first keep. Infinite Lightning, the ball is in, and we have the weak spot acquired as well. Yeah, keep is looking bad. Yeah, that keep is gone. Keep is, well, maybe not. No, that keep should be down for sure. They should be able to poke that to the ground now. Nick, of course, doing what he does the entire time. Jumping in, jumping out, has his 20, and there we have the first keep eliminator. That's 1 armor shield on the boss down. At the bottom of the map, they're trying to take this one. Ultralisk with the Exterminator. He has the main damage. Takes it down easily. 7-sided. Old man. But yes, that's the kill against Imperius. Washed up. Powerful. Once again. 11 kills to 6. 2 levels ahead. And they're starting to make their plays. But Masquerade goes down and he might not be the only one. There's the double kill as they take down Kharazim too. Is that the moment that turns the game a little bit? Is that the opportunity? Is that the double kill that allows Feel the Heat to not only hold the position but also bring this game back slowly? They get 2 kills and they get a little bit of breathing room for themselves here. 11 kills to 8. They still hold on to the bottom keep. And now they might just have an opportunity to bring this game back. But it's not going to be easy. I mean, again, they lost the keep in the middle and they lost a lot of ground on this map. But now they have a few more seconds where they can make the plays here. 28 for Kharazim, 25 for Johanna. If they push through the mid lane, there's a chance that they can at least get the fort over here. And, well, we already see Tyrael coming in too. 93 stacks now for Dino. He does work with Cassia. He's sitting at 83,000 damage. That's easy top damage in this game, despite the fact that Tracer is playing an incredible match. 73,000 for Nick. Leo with the help of Abathar. I mean, this is just a wave clear machine right now. You have Abathar just pushing it out. You have Leo coming in, and they are already attempting to go for the keep at the bottom of the map. So over here, this is gonna be a little bit nasty, but it seems like they can take Leo down if they really want to follow up on this and chase him. And it seems like that just might be the case. He's already getting chased hard, and he's not gonna escape here. So Leo is down. That's 60 seconds that he's off the board, and that's as the prisoner camp is announced. So another 30, roughly, 30-20, depending on how many drains he can connect. Has Austin's renewal too. Oh, but the boss is up, and they got sanked. Nice! Yeah, that's an easy one. You got Jimmy first of all, you had Cassia with good stacks, and just look how quickly they burn this one down. But what does Washed Up do? They're just like, yeah, we don't give a shit, boy. You know, we don't give a shit. You know why? Because we can go down to the bottom of the map and easily take your keep. You might get that boss, but that keep is ours. With Abathar and us having the mobility of Tracer and Kharazim, yeah, this is ours. All your bases belong to us, baby. The boss at the top? I mean, we're 21 minutes in. This one is going to hurt a little bit. Objective is going to be important too. Oh, yeah, a kill against Masquerade would have also been the dream. But let's have another look here. Also, just to keep you guys updated, since we're entering the late stage of the game, here's once again the experience setups. Oh, Masquerade, what? Oh, there's the kill. No way. Stagger deaths on the side of Washed Up. Uh-oh. That is literally the one thing that can't happen if you want to win this game. Feel the Heat, get an incredibly important kill over here, and they're looking for more now. They want to go for the objective, and this late in the game, those objectives hurt. Top key was defended, Leo was able to hold on to it, and Mule is in play. Abathar has Mule. Don't forget about that. That's going to be huge. It's going to be absolutely huge. That Mule can heal or repair the entire keep, but if the objective comes in, it's going to be the end of that. It's going to also push out the lanes. Still, down to the bottom of the map. Wit has to be careful, very careful. Kharazim plus Tracer, if Abathar jumps in, those two can do a lot. But now we have another staggered death coming in. Look at Jojo. Jojo is back in 7 seconds, and that's when they lose Leo. They are creating a lot of hotspots on the map that just force Feel the Heat to rotate. But as long as Feel the Heat gets these kills, it's kind of worth it. I don't know what's going on here, but Washed Up is in the process of throwing the game. Well, maybe not throwing the game, it's more so Feel the Heat forcing mistakes and capitalizing on them, but still. That death on Jojo early on was definitely not needed. The top keep is a goner. There's just no way to save it in this situation anymore. The question is, how far can you push this now? If Feel the Heat is going for game right now, can they actually pull it off once that the objective is in? That's the biggest question. The keep in the middle, I don't think they can save this one. They shouldn't be able to. Leo's back in another 7 seconds, so they need to be careful. If he drops a good buried alive, that might just be it. Oh, Imperius! What? Sanctification is out! And they have to retreat. They're trying to go for the copy first. Harzorps is already about to lose it. Top keep has now fallen, as expected. And Hazo's on the run. Hazo's on the run right over here. Oh my god. Bot lane. Yeah, we're not done with this one yet either. Bot lane is getting attacked and they're trying to burn down the raiders as quickly as possible. And I think they're gonna save that keep. The wall is lost, so there's that. But the rest is still in play. You gotta be careful. Leo wants that buried alive. And he gets it. He gets the buried alive. Imperius moves out and they're losing Cure. Cure is dead and the ball of lightning is bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. And they go in for the kill. Tracer is down. Is this it? Is this game? The second keep is gone and they take down Jojo. Unbelievable. Feel the heat. They were so far behind and it just still doesn't matter. 120,000 damage on Cassia. She has 115 stacks right now. This is game. Tyrael falls, but who cares? The 2-1 lead in the best of 5 for Feel the Heat here at the grand final. GG. Okay, we got a series. Potentially the last map in all of this as we're heading into Towers of Doom, but damn son, Feel the Heat. That comeback on the last map was actually incredible. They were so far behind and the Abathur setup really made it difficult for them. Honestly, I really think one of the big linchpins in the last one was the moment that Johanna died. Leo just comes back and that's the second when Johanna dies and gets caught in the middle of the map and all of a sudden it just turns. It's just these staggered deaths at the end of the game that are a huge problem simply because you are just playing time and time again at a number disadvantage and they had to give up so much of the map and it really just backfired. So it was a fantastic comeback that we saw from Feel the Heat here and you gotta give them some credit for that, so that was pretty cool. We have now Towers of Doom, which is the map choice of Washed Up. They really love to play on this one. And of course now you have to also question, do you ban out Abathur again? This is another map where Abathur could be played. Which team plays him? What do you do with this? Junkrat banned, they want to play Medivh. Insta. They want Medivh. They're banning Junkrat. It's a hero that they themselves play, but he's also one of the best, if not the best, to deal with the portal plays on Medivh's side. So if they get Medivh, they don't want Junkrat against them. And they're pretty much just telling Washed Up, ban Medivh. So if Washed Up doesn't ban Medivh, they lock him in. And if Washed Up now bans Medivh, D.Va is open. And D.Va has lost one game, granted it was when Feel the Heat played it, but still. This is now the situation that Washed Up finds themselves in. They're like, well, which one of the two do we ban? Do we ban out D.Va regardless and then let them pick Medivh? And they just say, no, it's not happening. So Medivh is out of the question. You don't have Junkrat to counteract him. You still could play with a Lucio. You could play with Malfurion. You could play with other heroes that are just good of controlling a portal. I mean, even ETC got banned out for pretty much that reason. And right now, with the first pick being available on the other side, is D.Va again committed to? Yes or no? The problem is if you don't pick D.Va right now, there's a good chance that Wash Up takes it. So you pretty much shoot yourself in the foot if you don't go for it, I feel. And, well, they go Jojo. Fair enough. They're saying, D.Va, we don't need her. Okay. That is interesting now. I want to see how Washed Up reacts to it. Is Washed Up now locking in D.Va? I think they played D.Va once today, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't really think that that was in their game plan either, that they now have an option to take D.Va. With the entire way that the early game, the draft shaped up, I mean, you can see how long they're actually delaying all of this. But they are locking it in, they have D.Va, and they go for Deckard Cain. Okay, so. Righty. There we go. It's an interesting setup right now, because Feel the Heat must have been aware of this. Feel the Heat must have been looking at this and saying like, okay, if we don't take her, they most likely will. I still think that they were probably hoping to lock in Deckard Cain here. But, yeah. They get Urel and they get Sylvanas. That's not bad. I mean, if you want to build up a little bit of momentum in the game, Sylvanas will do the trick for you, won't she? So there's that. And, well, I'm a little bit curious to see how they're going to play this one out. I'm also washed up than anybody else because, yeah, but again, we're heading into bans first, so let's just like wait for that. But the lineup that we have for Feel the Heat is already pretty solid, so that's not really too bad. That's a pretty good setup. There's the ban on Ana, so Ana is already out of the question right over here. And what else do we get? Nano Boost Sylvanas is insane. I mean, we've all seen Gore Rider make some of these plays, right, on the European side. He was just incredible. But yeah, so there's no Nano Boost for Sylvanas available here. Ultralisk, yeah, Ultralisk is also going to be another one that will be really interesting here. Could still play around his Maiev, for example. It's not really a bad setup against what they have here. Yeah, so there's that. The ban on Tracer, which still, I mean, it leaves Kerrigan, which Nick has played on this map. It leaves a Zeratul pick, potentially. So, they got a few. They got a few things that they could still make happen here. Yeah, I'm actually curious. I'm really curious how Washed Up plays this one out. Okay, that's a Chromie pick. Fair enough. Ah, Mal'Ganis! Haven't seen him in a long time. Alright. Chromie is back in play. I mean, we just want to slap her around. The problem is she just likes it. Yay! Yeah, that girl is just kinky. Kinky. So, but... the Mal'Ganis pick, I didn't see that one coming, I gotta admit. Mal'Ganis has pretty much disappeared from a lot of the drafts. He's just not really one of the characters that immediately come to mind. Oh, Uther Genji? The fuck is this? 2017? Okay. We have a potential Divine Shield on Genji as he's slicing and dicing through the opponent. And Nick is the last one to pick his hero. I mean, could also be the son, of course, for Uther, but that's not the big question. What is Nick actually going to pick here? Yeah. Now we're talking. This is making his life a little bit more dangerous, too. Thrall. Green Jesus comes in as Thrall gets picked by Nick. Alright, guys. Alright. Towers of Doom, potentially the last map. Can Feel the Heat win the grand final? Or is Washed Up forcing map number 5? We're gonna find out right now. Towers of Doom. Washed Up against Feel the Heat, the 4th map, and this is the one that could decide it all. Is Feel the Heat able to win the tournament? Right here, right now. That's the question. On the left side of the map, we got Cure on Diva, the North American player, playing cross-server here today. Hazuops on Chromie, Nick on Thrall. We got Banana H on Deckard Cain, and Masquerade on Mal'Ganis. Yeah, and on the right side of the map, the red team Feel the Heat, also with a couple of picks that I didn't really expect here. Wait on Johanna, we got X-Ray on Uther, we have Ultralisk on Genji, Dino on Sylvanas, and Blade on Urel. Yeah, off we go. So, right now we got the Trolling Thunder on level 1. That's the first one. Pretty much one of the standard talents on Thrall right now. Actually, the standard talents in one of the solo lanes, for sure. But I did not expect that Genji Uther lineup here. 2017 called, they want their draft back. So, right now we got Blade jumping out. Yep. He's still fine, but that was a bit of a close call. And they are really brawling through all of that. Already Ooh, Masquerade, careful, my friend. I mean, he dropped the medallion over here, but then he stuck around a bit longer than I expected, so that could have backfired for him too. Urel hasn't taken her level 1 yet either. And yeah, things are a bit nasty. I honestly love this. This is just spectacular. We had some great games here already and a lot of back and forth, not only on the individual maps, but also in the series itself. And just seeing this coming to a draft like that is kind of epic, honestly. I mean, this is pretty much one of the top maps for Washed Up. It's also their map pick, therefore. But just seeing those little mind games that you have between teams that know each other so well in a draft is always cool. And these little games now around heroes like Diva after just change came through is kind of sweet as well. Now, of course, it always matters a little bit how does the draft work out for you, right? If you play Sylvanas, for example, you really want her to be aggressive and help you to convert some of these bell towers and then establish some pressure on the map. If they can do that, that would be super neat. But yeah, there's a lot of elements to this one right now. Now, first of all, what's kind of important... Oh, yeah. Oh, careful, Masquerade. Oh, that's a kill. Yes, there it is. Ultralisk on Genji. I mean, he needs a bit of healing, but I think eventually Uther will be there. So on level 4, we get the unstable poison in. And as I said previously, if you have a Sylvanas that knows what she's doing in the game, she can be an insane damage dealer. We had Gore Rider for Pepe My Lady. I mean, Gore Rider in particular is just crushing opponents with this hero, especially when he gets a nano boost. But we are seeing Feel the Heat now really dominant at the beginning of this one at least. So X-Ray also with the Unstoppable to get out of that situation. But as you can tell, they are kind of doing a good job at the bot lane. They got the kill. Now they have to simply move back to make sure that they're getting hit points and mana back. But good start. Also, Wolfpack for Thrall, so he's gonna try and get the stacks together, has already one accumulated on his level 4. Same build, by the way, for D.Va as we've seen in the previous games, the liquid cooling straight into the rushdown. And there's already the Unstoppable on Wit. He needs to be a bit careful. He's still aiming to dodge out, but the second Wolf was connected. Down here, the channel is happening. Genji's at the top right, and top left is a bit of an interrupt play. They're trying to go for the double. First few shots are already getting fired. D.Va is still dealing with the top left, and Urel is there, interrupting as much as she can. But guess who? It's Genji coming in from behind here. Yeah, your favorite Shimada is on the move, and they're trying to make the jump on Hazorbs. So a lot of pressure with the mobility that they have on the two heroes against the backliners. The exchange on the altars has been successful, and at least for now it seems like Washed Up is a little bit ahead over the fight, in the fight over the third one over here. Doing fairly well, but yep, there it is, the kill. Urel is down, and that opens this one up pretty nicely for them. So yeah, they are doing fantastic. But the problem is still, yeah, X-Ray was trying to sneak this one in. They're a little bit low on mana and on hit points, of course, now too, so they had to retreat and just simply tap at the fountain. That also means that Urel has some time to respawn off the map, which has now happened. But everybody is still fighting over this, and X-Ray is now on the run. Uther, the old geezer, is already moving out. Here's another channel attempt by Banana H, as everybody is locking in level 7 talents. Ultralist jumps in again. Genji sits right there. There's the stun. Urel moves in too. They want to go for Nick. They nearly get him, but they're not able to connect the last few hits and drop him. Masquerade is also... Everybody's rather low on the side of Washed Up. They gotta be careful. Ultralist is gonna rip them apart. Comes in with kill number 1. And looks for more, but Nick is down, Ultralisk is still alive, and Sylvanas goes for the channel and connects the 4 shots. 4 minutes and 40 seconds in. Definitely a long battle between them, and with the killer against Thrall, that of course also means that he got now reset in the stacks that he had. So that's another problem for them. Yeah, top side, Dino is also sitting tight right here, but we got some pretty solid opening fights already in this game. So I like this. The camps are being fought over. That's the next thing on the menu here. So they're trying to take this as quickly as possible. But what a game, guys. I mean, this is pretty solid. 2-1. I mean, given what's on the line here right now, the top team walks away with, I think, $500, if I'm not mistaken. The second one is like 320 or something along those lines. So it's a bit of a gap. You obviously want to make sure that you win this one right now. They rotate down to the bottom against Hazu. Yeah, Hazu is able to get away from this one. But Dino is applying pressure. I mean, again, the entire time you have a little bit more damage against the structures. Uther comes in with a stun, trying to cover the retreat. And as much as Cure's coming in with D.Va and tries to push them away, it doesn't work out exactly the way that they are hoping for here. It's a 5 versus 5 that are fighting again. There's a half-level lead, a little bit more than that even for Feel the Heat, thanks to the 3 kills that they got, and they are ahead on the objective now that we have the double spawn topside. But what a game again. I mean, again, a lot on the line, but the draft alone, it's so cool. Honestly, I didn't think that I would ever say that, but it's actually kind of cool to see Genji. Genji is one of the heroes that was just resident sleeper the entire time when we had the non-stop Genji meta, I think, throughout 2017 and half of 2018, where the hero was literally involved in 99.9% of the drafts that we had. And usually always banned or picked, but right now it's kind of cool to see a lineup where Genji plays a bit of a role. He's not really a hero that you see anymore. So having him in the game is kind of cool, especially with his Uther combo, and the Divine Shield is there, so we have the old school setup. There's the bomb again, but they're going for the kills, and slicing and dicing. Genji wants them, Genji gets them, but he's also getting killed. So typical Genji plays right there. Level 10 abilities on both sides. That was a 2-for-1 trade, by the way. And that doesn't really bode well for Wit either, who's currently getting bodied by that Lul Nado that just lulls him around the entire time. Dino is also on the run, and he actually makes it out. Yeah, the Sundering, that doesn't do anything there. The shots get connected though, so it was an even exchange of bell towers. The approach of Feel the Heat to try and fight for the left side didn't really work out for them. But yeah, there we go. Here comes the attack, as they are starting to drop some damage with Chromie from the back line. By the way, Thrall still not done with his level 4. So he is losing out a lot on all of this. So he's back to 0. And I mean, it is definitely a quest that he should be able to complete at some point, but at least for the time being, he doesn't have the cooldown reduction. So 4 kills against 4, as it's pretty even. Question is really simply if at some point Sylvanas is able to get into a position where she can start taking structures down with the team. And once you have the bot lane control, you're obviously in a fantastic spot on Towers of Doom. Bot lane control is everything. 2 of these camps rotate through the bottom of the map, so once you control that lane completely, you attack the core. But here comes the big fight over one of those camps, and Feel the Heat is willing to go for it. They want to fight these fights. They're coming in as we speak. The Lulnado drops them off for just a second. Blade is low and needs to retreat. Here comes the Sundering, and Wit jumps out. As usual, they went for the Falling Sword here. So they are willing to fight these battles. They are jumping into these choke point fights and they're just saying, alright, let's go, boys. But in this one, didn't really work out. They retreated eventually. Bit of an exchange in cooldowns that we had here. And especially Urel getting this low is, of course, an issue. But we are talking about the bot lane now. Altar spawning in another 10. And here we go. There's again the Lulnado, committing to the unstoppable, dropping the cooldown. Already a bit of extra damage from Dino himself as they're moving in. Level 13 talents are very, very close for Feel the Heat. They're still a level ahead, and if they can maintain that and just delay that fight just a little bit, then they can fight through the talent advantage. And the flashlight of Wit gets used to interrupt again. Comes in once more with the auto attack. Still no level 13 talent. Ultralisk is low. And here it is. The talent advantage, but also Banana Age trying to get the channel, and he gets it. Unfortunate. They try to punish him. The old man is gonna get... Well, actually, he's not gonna get eliminated. The Sunring parted the way pretty nicely. Yeah, Green Jesus turning into Green Moses, as Nick is parting not only the waves, but also the opponent's team. Level 13 talents give an advantage to Feel the Heat, but doesn't really mean anything if you can't capitalize on it. And going for the objective. Nice. Getting the bounce out and interrupting the Hearthback. But in the middle of the map, Blade gets the experience, rotates topside, is not going to lose out on anything there either. And at the bottom of the map, we're just still sitting tight. So yeah, situation as it stands, we have Sylvanas on 34,000 damage, top damage for her. Not really unexpected. 37,000 for Chromie. Yay! Shut up. And up at the top, still Blade starting to push this out as in the middle of a bit of a battle happening. Yeah, 14 is in. 13, soon TM. And there's the jump. Alright, let's go, boys. Already trying to make sure... Oh, careful. Already trying to make sure that with the timeout, they're saving Hazu, and Chromie is still alive. The problem is that Dino's most likely not going to survive this one, is he now? Dino is low and gets murdered by the Sundering. Get wrecked, Fred. Nicely done. Yeah, push at the bottom of the map once again as Blade is rushing away, and Feel the Heat is starting to lose some ground here as Washed Up is desperately trying to close the gap in experience. 20 seconds for Sylvanas to come back, 14 seconds until we have the objective on the map. It could be a 5th map here. We could see a 5th map in this game if Washed Up plays their cards right. And they're going to try to. They're already, well, they're facing Genji in the middle. He's going to try for the interrupt, but down here, the zone out, Wit has no chance. That's Banana Age with an easy channel. He gets one. Sylvanas is back. Mech down. Can they get more? Actually, yeah, that's a little bit optimistic. It's not going to be that easy. But of course he has to. Forces their hand. Yeah, Urel is hopping in. Oh, careful. Masquerade is getting a bit of a beating here by them. X-Ray is already on the channel once more. Gets interrupted by Deckard Cain. The old man definitely has a bit of an issue here with Uther channeling this through. But they are starting to zone them out hard. And there's the setup for Genji. And he gets the first kill. He gets one kill. There's the Sundering. They follow up on it, or at least they attempt to. But he gets pushed away and they're starting to jump out here. The channel is already happening. X-Ray is coming back in and starts with the heals. But that was pretty dicey for a moment. I mean, seriously. That could have been way more than only one kill. Uther was channeling, or that could have been a disaster for them. But just take a look at the experience. Guys, we're looking at nearly level 16 right now. They're really walking away with this. 27,000 experience on minions. Remember the last game? We're pretty much seeing the reversal right now. At least when it comes to XP. So, this is kind of nuts at this point. I mean, once they have the level 16 talent, they can go boss. They can go for one of the forts or bell towers. We have Benediction now. That's a double stun available. Yeah, things are getting a little bit more tricky now for Washed Up, because that talent advantage that we're now seeing also gives another unstoppable to Sylvanas. That's a huge deal. So this is starting to be a bit tricky. Oh yeah, especially if he falls too. Yeah, and he is... Don't tell me he's getting away from this one. Ooh, they're trying. Masquerade, Masquerade, and he's alive. He's alive. They got Kane. Banana Age, you fucking monster. And it's that they take X-Ray down. What? Triple altar phase is coming up. They're trying to close the experience gap. I cannot believe that Uther died and Mal'Ganis survived this one. How? I mean, how? It's like, what? Now we have the altar activating though, and they don't have enough time to reclaim this one. So even if they take 2 out of the 3, they will still not get enough damage in. It's 24 versus 24 points right now. This is getting sick. I mean, how long can you interrupt here? It's 10 seconds until Uther's back. Yeah, Urel jumps in. There's a lot down here. Genji is channeling. Up at the top, they're trying to interrupt. Down to the bottom of the map, they are also delaying as much as they can. Yeah, here comes the root. Uh-oh, Wailing Arrow, Blade, and he's down. Staggered deaths. 5 shots against 3 fired already, but now at the bottom of the map, it's another 5 versus 4. Well, unless they get the old man. But Banana H is again walking away, isn't he? No, he's not. Not away from Genji. Ultralisk is trying to escape and trying to take him. Hazu, Hazu. 9 hit points, and he's down. Killed by Chromie's auto attack, adding insult to injury. Not only do you get taken down by a fake dragon, by a gnome, but she also does it with the auto attacks. And there it is. The channel at the bottom of the map. Guys, we have 8 kills to 6 in favor of Washed Up. They're starting to really turn this also in experience, are they? 1 level still behind. Ooh, good damage at the top. That's actually experience lost. They're gonna lose out on a bit of this. Yeah, they're definitely losing some experience here. And they're losing the wall now, too. So, Sylph is taking the camp at the same time as we're having the rest of the team focusing on the one at the bottom of the map. But there's some pretty sexy setups now. We got 55,000 damage from Genji over here. 59,000 on Thrall. Green Moses doing his thing. Bell Tower got reconverted, so that's the time that Washed Up... Well, Washed Up used the time that they had now because of these kills to get that done. But there's still the Sylvanas factor. Honestly, every single time on this map, this terrifies me a little bit, because put yourself in the position of Washed Up. If you lose 2 heroes, Sylvanas and her team, they can go with Sylph straight for it. And there's already extra damage on Masquerade. Here come the pumpkins. Where's the setup? Can we see Genji again? He doesn't have his ult ready yet. There's the explosion, the lockdown. Oh my god, careful. Right now, we got Wit moving away again, trying to check this out. Ooh, the jump. And yes, everybody's just hopping away from this one. Going full on bunny mode. Yeah, Blade is playing a Silver Surfer the entire time here with his Urel. But now we got the next altar popping up and they're coming in for it again. They have the combo. Divine Shield is there. Divine Shield. Where is Genji? No, Hazu. Hazu, oops. And he's down. Hazu is down and the old man is locked into a corner. And Genji shows no mercy, comes in and completely drops him. Nick is low too. They are walking over them at the bot lane. They are going for everything. Sylvanas, can she disable the bell tower? There's only one altar up, but if she can go for the disable, there's a chance that they're getting 5 shots connected, and they should be able to. I mean, Ultralisk is already starting to sniff them out, and they're jumping in to take D.Va down. D.Va down, she's eliminated, and that's the bell tower at the bottom of the map. They channeled it too early, though. I'm a little bit surprised. I wonder what they want to do after this. So, they have level 20 now. But they're gonna get a bell tower connect. And of course now, guys, it's more than a level lead that we're talking about here. So they have momentum. Are they gonna go boss? I don't really think so. Well, actually they do. They go for boss. Could go maybe for another bell tower if they really wanted to, especially in the middle of the map. But instead they're removing boss from the map first. Well, actually they go for both. I mean, why wouldn't you? Get a bit of damage in. They won't get the entire thing, but hey, start working on it. 10 kills to 8, level 20 versus 19. They get the boss, which means that we are seeing Washed Up in just a moment drop down to 11 points on their core, 18 on the other side. And while the blue team is trying to reconvert the bell tower at the bottom of the map, we have the top lane pressure now from Feel the Heat and mid lane pressure. They're in 2 lanes right now. They're trying to take 2 down. Yeah, it's getting there. Control, control, control. That's what Towers of Boom is all about. And now with Sylvanas taking another camp at the top, she takes that easily. That will also pin D.Va down top side a little bit further. They're getting another one down at the bottom of the map. And, well, with this, we're now in a fantastic situation for Feel the Heat. It's not hopeless for Washed Up, but the pressure is there. And again, game 4. So if this is a win for Feel the Heat, they win the tournament. They're already moving down to the bottom of the map. Keep in mind, there's the camp. That's 3 shots fired if nobody deals with it. And it doesn't seem like anybody will. So very likely we're going to see Washed Up drop down to the single digits regardless. Chromie gets attacked. Hazu is in trouble and is safe for now. Not for long though. Storm Talents on both sides right now. We got the Storm Talents in for both of them. Ooh, this is rough. This is tricky. This is dangerous. Washed Up needs to be careful here. 3 shots connected. They're down to single digits. 8 points against 18. The top camp connected. Nicely done. Big fight at the bottom now. If you lose this one, if they lose this one, it's over. If they lose this one and the altar gets channeled by Feel the Heat and they reclaim bot bell tower, this is game. So they need to win this one. There's the jump into the backline once again as we're having Wit trying to go for Hazu. And here comes Genji. Genji comes in and he's slicing, he's dicing, and he's killing all of them. 1 down, 2 down. They are getting for all of them. They get 2 kills. They want the 3rd. They get the 3rd. And this has to be game. This has to be game. They're gonna go for the channel at the bottom. X-Ray sitting there. Here comes the jump as Jojo is moving in once more. They can take the bottom bell tower and then can claim victory. The barrage is starting soon. TM 7 hit points for Dino as he moves out. They need to keep him in play a little bit longer. The fight continues. They're doing what they can here and the bell tower is taken. Here's the fight once again. They're moving in. Look at that kill on Chromie. That started all of it. But they bought time in the middle of the map to reclaim a bell tower. The game isn't necessarily over here. They get the channel, bam, shots fired, down to 2 points on the core, but can they recapture before the rest of the team is there for the defense? D.Va up at the top is trying to burn this one down. Washed Up is currently playing against all odds here, doing whatever they can, whatever is possible, and at the same time, we have Masquerade in trouble. Bell tower gets taken. How quick is D.Va? Where's the shots fired? 1 shot coming any second. Is the second one launching? No! 1 point to 18. They're still here. They're still there. Oh my god. What a game. Washed Up holding on to it somehow. Doing what they can here. And right now, camp after camp is getting taken. Boss is not on the map anymore. Washed Up is looking for fights. What's the timer? 1 minute and 43 seconds over here. Bot lane, control is there. Pumpkins moving through. Sylvanas all the way up at the top. Trying to reclaim this, of course. Can try and do exactly that as they are just moving away and playing cat and mouse with Feel the Heat. Another one up at the top side. 1 versus 18. And the entire time, Genji. They're jumping on Chromie and ripping her a new one whenever they got an opportunity there. 79,000 damage for Sylvanas. 79,000 for Genji. Thrall is looking at 80k and they take again the control over the top, and oh my god, this is such a difficult situation for Washed Up to play. They cannot give up the top. They cannot give it up. They're trying to take it down. Q is here. Q is here. He's trying to claim this. He needs to. There's nothing else he can do. 7 seconds. So there will be an advantage for just a little bit, for just some small moment in time where they can play a 5 versus 4 here. There's the channel right here. They're going for the isolation. Dino gets interrupted. They're making the play again for Thrall. The Sundering Nick is still alive. And there's the kill. No, maybe. Oh, how is he still alive and kicking? Genji wants it. Genji looks for it and he gets it. Ultralisk with the play. Hazu is down. Genji is screwing them up completely. And Jojo moved down to the bottom of the map and seals the deal as Feel the Heat win the tournament and crown themselves the champion of the Chile Mountain Cup, the Ice Cold Cup here. GG!
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description and check that out. Thanks in advance and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.